Now you're caught up to date. Let's bring in our guest today. I have with me here on the set is Jerry Haffey Jr. Jerry, it's great to see you again. Jerry and his father run the Ambrosia treatment centers across America. Jerry, it's so great to have you with us here.
John, thanks for having us. We appreciate the time and look forward to talking with you.
Well, Jerry, we've been talking about this issue, the opioid addiction. I've been wanting to get you on the show for a while, not just because you are on the front lines of this battle in this country with the company that you run, but also because you're a veteran, and a lot of veterans specifically are dealing with an incredibly tough time when it comes to the opioid addiction. Why do you think, based on what you've seen through your treatment facilities, this issue has become so just inflamed right now, and why you think that we're starting to see some progress from both sides of the aisle to try and tackle it?
So, two pieces there. First, the opiate epidemic. Let's talk about that. We can talk about the veterans a little after. Let's dig into the initial, probably the bigger problem. Okay, in 2015, there was a study done, and what it said was 21.7 million Americans struggle with substance abuse. Of those 21.7 in 2015, just 2 years, just what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
2.1 million get care. It's a problem.
Yeah, so not enough people are able to get care. We also saw a report recently that says, number one, the life expectancy in this country is going down because so many people under the age of 50 are dying from overdoses. And also, you know, that's now become the number one leading cause of death for people under the age of 50. So this is a huge problem. And there are lots of ways to talk about treating it. But just last night on NBC News, they featured a story on Megyn Kelly Reports, which take a close look at Palm Beach County, which is where your headquarters is located.
Yes, sir.
They talked about Palm Beach County being the opiate treatment facility capital of the country. But here's a quote from NBC's report. And I know you want to dispute this because they kind of cast all of these treatment facilities the same light. Quote, crooked treatment centers partner with body brokers and operators to find these so-called sober homes to find patients with good health insurance. Brokers and sober homeowners offer those trying to get clean free rent, free gift cards, free airfare in exchange for going to a specific treatment center which pays kickbacks. But this is not how all these treatment facilities work. Talk about what actually works, because they talked about what's wrong but not what's actually working.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you bringing that quote up. So we've got to make a clear distinction. Okay, let's separate out what's real and what's not.
Sure.
That's a broad statement inside of behavioral health specific to substance abuse care. Okay, so you're really talking about regulated operators in behavioral health versus unregulated. This task force that David Ehrenberg brought up, and that he was put out in Palm Beach County by good providers who are regulated not only by the state of Florida through the Department of Children and Families, but also nationally accredited by the Joint Commission. So we're heavily regulated. We're also regulated by the insurance companies and what the expectation of care is. Those are important things. This task force was actually put together so that Dave Ehrenberg and the city of Palm Beach and Palm Beach County, the county, could actually get the sober homes, which have no regulation. He just put the law into place. Great, we wanted that. That was our move, like, let's get this thing right. But we're not a sober home. Treatment centers, residential treatment centers, are not a sober home.
So again, this is a distinction where you have folks like you who are doing things by the book. You're heavily regulated industry. Yeah. You have a lot of regulations to follow, and we've seen this in other industries. Then you have people like these sober home owners, right? Yep. They're not regulated in the same way you are. They're able to find these loopholes and exploit those loopholes, and the result is that the patient care doesn't get any better. The problem doesn't get any better. The big problem, I think, what you're communicating to me, Dave Ehrenberg, who is the Palm Beach County State Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Palm Beach County has one of the biggest problems in this because of these issues with these unregulated sober homes. He didn't do you any favors by kind of lumping all these folks together.
Unfortunately, no. He's done a good job at putting in legislation so that the sober homes are regulated. That's the goal.
Right.
We don't like what's going on, but he's cleaning that up legislatively. Unfortunately, he's painting a picture for all of treatment, and it's incorrect. And it's unfortunate because the good providers, and we're just one of them, Ambrosia is just one of them. There are multiple treatment providers, not only in Palm Beach County, but in the state. Think about this, ready, John? There's 2,800 treatment facilities, either public or private, in the state of Florida. In Palm Beach County, to date, there's about 400. You're telling me all of these people aren't good? All of them?
Yeah, it's unfortunate to get these in this industry, which actually obviously needs some help, right?
Yes.
Because we have this problem; it's not getting any better. You know, we're not fans of regulation, but we understand the importance, and it works. There are cases when it works, and you know, it's unfortunate when folks like you have to follow those regulations, and other folks do not. And those are the ones, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, as we say.
Sure.
Here you are doing things the right way.
Yeah, we're fighting, and we're fighting. And you know what's unfortunate? Through all of this, the clients, the patients that need care, they suffer. They suffer.
Sure.
Because we're cropped into a big bowl by this, by not being clear on the distinction of what is unregulated and what's already regulated. It's not the same. So now, if we're cropped in, now people don't want to receive care. In Florida, may be some of the best treatment in this country. There's thousands of people today who are going to leave treatment facilities in South Florida, in the state of Florida, that are leaving with a positive story of hope.
When someone is looking, as millions of people are, I mean, I don't think I know anybody who doesn't know somebody either in their immediate family or just outside their immediate family who hasn't suffered some sort of addiction issue. What is the number one thing folks should look for when they are trying to get help to separate the good from the bad?
It's a good question. And it's a fair question. And when you're talking about someone's life and what is happening with them, and it's this is an impact to not only a person who needs help, but every loved one around them, like you cited. Look for Joint Commission accreditation. That's the big thing. It's a national accreditation. You go to a hospital, you go into the ER, you look on the wall, you'll see a little gold seal. That's in every hospital. Guess what? Ambrosia and a lot of providers who provide residential treatment have that on our walls for a reason. That is the highest standard that we can hold, and we believe in that. We're backed by that. We're held accountable. So first thing I would advise people is look for Joint Commission accreditation. After that, you really have to do your homework. Man, think about anyone who, if you wanted a referral from a family member who'd gone through this before, no problem. If you wanted to talk to have stories of hope or what Ambrosia has actually done or what that treatment provider does, call that treatment program that you're looking at. Ask them to show you something from someone else. Like, if I had gone to Ambrosia and you had called me and said, I need to go to Ambrosia, I'm wondering what it's like, I'm going to probably give you a good story, or I'm going to give you the truth and it's a bad story. But treatment, when we're held to these regulations, it's good.
So that's the key. Look for that accreditation. Jerry, we're going to have you back to talk about this issue specifically as it deals with vets, because it deserves its own time.
Excellent.
But this is an issue. I was in New York recently. Chris Christie has a commercial asking people to get help. This is spread across the country.
Yes.
We know you're trying to do your part to knock it down just a little bit, but it's going to take a group effort. It's going to take a lot of help. And I also, when you come back, I want to talk about what you're doing with former Congressman Jeff Miller.
Yes.
Who was a friend of Newsmax. He's now working on this in Washington, D.C., specifically to help out addiction with veterans. Jerry Haffey Jr. from Ambrosia Treatment Centers. Thanks so much for being with us.
John, thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
All right. We got much more to come here on America Talks Live. Coming up after this, we're going to talk about, a counterintuitive solution that I worked on with Newsmax health editor Nick Tate. Is Medicaid for all actually one way that could help Republicans navigate this health care bill issue? We'll talk about that coming up. Also, Michael Solomon and Bill Tucker are going to come back as well. I'm sure they'll have a few holes to poke in my thesis after this. Stay tuned.